welcome to the Tarot Cottage. My name is Amy. I'm here today with a pick a card reading for you. Welcome to my returning subscribers. You guys are amazing. Thank you to every new subscriber who has subscribed this month as well. Thank you for joining this beautiful soul family. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for your presence on this channel as well. And if you have come to this channel for the very first time, we welcome you with open arms. Please pull up a chair, get cozy. We're going to have a little chat today because we're all friends when we gather around my table. Now, today's topic is all about the person on your mind and what were they feeling, what were they thinking, and what were they going through the last time that they saw you. So maybe the two of you were together the last time that they saw you, maybe they saw you from afar. Whatever the case may be, there may be a message waiting for you today. I do have 3 piles here to choose from. Pile number 1 with the 6 of Cups. Pile number 2 with the Empress. Pile number 3 with the Fool. Now, there may be multiple piles that you feel drawn to, and my timestamps will be listed below. So whichever pile or piles you are drawn to, there may be messages waiting for you. And again, it's all about a connection on your mind where you saw each other for the last time, or they saw you for the last time, and what were they going through, what were they thinking in that moment. So these 3 piles, my timestamps are listed below. I did want to mention for my returning subscribers as well as my new subscribers this month that I do offer a chance to win a free tarot reading as a way of a give back, as a way of a thank you to the people who have been subscribed to the channel and are showing so much compassion to me by coming back and supporting the channel. So be sure to drop your comment below any of my readings this month for your chance to win. And all you have to do is drop any comment. Be sure to hit your notification bell, your like button. It not only helps me to bring you guys more content, but it also helps me to notify you if you're chosen the winner. And I will notify you via the comment section, but I will give you very clear indications on how to reach out to me via one of my links below. So be sure not to get scammed by somebody who's posing as the Tarot Cottage, either here on YouTube or on Instagram. There's a lot of different copycat accounts that keep floating around Instagram that are claiming to be tarot channels. So be sure to protect yourself. So pile 1, pile 2, pile 3, my timestamps are listed below. What was the thoughts of the person on your mind the last time they saw you? Hello, pile number 1. You were drawn to the 6 of Water, the 6 of Cups, and this is your reading. Now, the 6 of Cups is my favorite card in the whole tarot deck. Out of all of the cards in the deck, the 6 of Cups is my favorite because it represents such a beautiful, nostalgic love, and it represents innocence, and it represents just a connection that defies logic, that defies reason. It can confirm friendship, so this may have been a friendship or somebody from your past as well. And you can see how she's like longing. She's sitting there looking at the pool of reflection. So there's somebody who thinks about you a lot in connection to the past. They perhaps are regretful for some of the choices that they made regarding your friendship or your connection overall. And this is someone who also feels very strongly for you in a very permanent way. It's like you could rob a bank tomorrow and they would give excuses as to why maybe you needed to do that because they just have these beautiful rose-colored glasses in connection to you. Now, the way that she's postured, the way that she is kind of looking like she is regretful, she's holding on to her sort of sacral chakra, her empowerment. So this could be an indication of how this person felt the last time that they saw you when there was some type of reunion in their mind. So let's take a look here. I'm going to use the Cat Tarot for you actually to start this reading. What were they thinking and feeling the last time that they saw you? Pile number 1. We have the 5 of Pentacles. We're starting out with the 5 of Pentacles. Now, when we're dealing with emotion, the practicality of the pentacles don't really apply sometimes, but when we're dealing with emotion, we have to adjust it. And so there's been a separation here between the two of you, and there's like this emotional destitution associated with that. There's also this Aquarius energy, this star energy that's floating above the cat's heads. It's like you seem so close yet so far away. So in that moment, the two of you may have been in close proximity, but it's like you're miles apart in some way, whether it be emotionally. We have the Page of Cups. We have here the 9 of Swords. I don't feel like this was planned. It feels very unpredictable. It feels like they were caught very much off guard and not prepared at all. You can even see here with the Page of Cups, they're sticking their head down the toilet and they're running out of toilet paper. So there's this feeling about not being prepared not being prepared for this moment, and not being prepared, to be honest with you, with the amount of spiritual energy or spiritual love that came out of that moment. Because in that moment, it's like we think we have a good handle on something. We think that we have a good handle on this connection from the past, and that moment proved me wrong. That's what it feels like. I also feel like they've been reliving this moment since the last time they saw you over and over and over again too. Because they were immediately nervous. And for some watching, they may have even tried to duck and hide. They may have tried to go under the radar and be sort of avoid an interaction or avoid being seen. We have the King of Pentacles. They're giving me the impression that this person was looking busy, or was trying to make themselves intentionally look busy in that moment so that they were looking unbothered, or like they didn't notice you in that moment. It feels very unplanned. And there's also this huge evolution between childhood and growth. So I feel like there's been maybe years between seeing each other, or there's just been a huge growth period between when we met and this moment in time. We have the Nine of Cups, and we have the Sun. We also have here the Lovers and the King of Swords. There's very strong Gemini energy here right this moment. We also have a lot of Leo energy coming through. So let's clarify this as we go forward. Now again, the Six of Cups, the Lovers, both cards of deep connection. One says friendship, one says much, much more, obviously. This is the gap that they wanted to bridge. This is also somebody who's kind of regretful not taking some type of risk towards the Divine Feminine. I'm also getting a lot of Divine Feminine energy, so that could be resonating with you in some way. If this person originally, when you first saw them, in this moment in time where the two of you were seeing each other the last time, if they at first acted like didn't notice you, they definitely noticed you. That was intentional. They're also showing me kind of like waving at each other from afar. You can even see the cats like waving. So it's like noticing each other, waving from afar. You may have noticed them first, but to be honest with you, I think they still noticed you first. Even if you think you noticed them first, they were intentionally trying to look like they didn't see you. We have the Queen of Wands. We have the Three of Cups coming out as well. Deep friendship. And what should have been a moment of celebration is like a moment that they've anticipating, and a moment that almost I feel like we've been waiting for, turned into this moment where nothing really went to plan. It's like they were waiting for this moment, but what they didn't anticipate was the struggle that they would have in this moment. They really pictured themselves way more confident, way more in control of the situation. But of course, it's much easier to just fantasize about those moments than actually be thrust in the midst of that moment. And they hid because they were afraid of what you were experiencing. They were afraid that you wouldn't like this new version of them or something. Like there's almost like a physical insecurity that's coming forward here. What were they thinking and feeling the last time they saw? And they hid because, again, they don't know how you're feeling. King of Pentacles. They tried to project themselves as very secure, as solid, as unbothered. But they were really emotionally caught off guard. And if they have made progress in the practical realm towards, investments, career, all of those things, in that moment, they got thrust right back to that childhood, or got thrust right back to that moment in time where they were coming of age. It's like everything came back to the surface that they thought that they had buried deep, truthfully. We have here the Justice on the back of the deck with the Page of Wands. And all this did for them was to ignite their curiosity even deeper, to ignite their thirst even deeper when it comes to you. I feel like since that moment, they've been trying to seek you out online. There's the Page of Swords. They're also speaking about an institution that was at the beginning of this connection. So you may have gone to school with this person. They're talking about the education of the Page of Swords as well. So you may have gone to school with them. I want to clarify this Nine of Cups. There's this feeling about like a wish being granted in that moment. A wish being granted in that moment, and then still not taking advantage of the moment. It's like they anticipated this reunion. They wanted this reunion for perhaps quite a few years leading up to this point. But they didn't anticipate the way that it would make them feel nervous. They didn't anticipate the fear aspect. I feel like they were passive when it comes to creating the clarity that they really hoped that they would be able to bring forward. And in that moment, they told themselves that it was too much risk or it wasn't logical to approach you in a profoundly emotional way. We have the Eight of Swords. And here's that Eight of Swords. There's the Lovers. They know that that was their moment to breathe life into change or to breathe life into clarity. They know that that was their moment. And they feel frustrated with themselves in this moment now because they didn't take advantage of it in a real way. Now, there could have been mild communication for some. There could have been just like an acknowledgement from across the yard or across the way for other people. I do feel like this person retreated, or someone in this connection saw the other person and tried to hide, tried to retreat very quickly, just because they weren't prepared, not because they didn't want to see you, but just because they didn't feel prepared. They didn't feel on top of their game. And they were really worried about, to be honest, I feel like they were really worried about what you think about them in a physical sense, what you think about the growth, what you think about who they are today. There's also priority with the King of Pentacles and somebody who has built a life for themselves. And there was like anxiety surrounding that too, about the decisions I've made, the choices I've made. But I will say they were very attracted to you in that moment. We have the tent, temporary situation. I always think of a yurt when I see that tent. And that's the message coming through. That's why Spirit showed that to me, because as soon as I said yurt, they showed me a little stove inside the tent that has a little hole in the yurt to let the steam out or to let the smoke out. In a normal tent, we don't have heat, right? So that they really thought that the feelings that they had in the past were temporary, but what they're recognizing is that it's more stabilized than they actually, gave themselves credit for, or gave the connection credit for. Because they thought that they could turn their back on the spiritual nature of your connection, but because they were ill-equipped in the past to actually do anything about it. But this was a moment to prove to them that they were wrong, that they have not moved on. We have kite, vacation, taking a vacation. So perhaps it's happened on vacation for someone. Also, they're talking about escapism, using this moment, using this connection as an escapism. We have here bat, take care, the enemies are working against you, and it's the ego. So in that moment, their ego grabbed a hold of the opportunity and ran with it. Instead of them listening to the notes of intuition to create some type of progress here, we have boundaries, having to stand their ground, danger, especially in money matters. And so they did feel like they had to maintain boundaries or else they could suffer some type of consequence, and that could be in their practical environment. Let's get a look here, though, at some messages. I'm going to use the Honest Love Tarot for you to start here. What were they thinking and feeling the last time they saw pile number 1, please? I'm weighing out my options. Taking their time, juggling a lot of things. They were busy in that moment, or they had a lot going on in that moment. They just felt really uneasy and unprepared. But there's also this acknowledgement of, I've been holding space for you here. You're the one that cut me out. So they do feel like if they were kind of cold towards you, or if they didn't react towards you, they didn't feel like they were getting any warmth from you or any type of green light that you wanted them to approach. They're also saying that you may have been the one to end the friendship or the connection in the past. And I haven't moved. I'm right where you left me in an emotional sense. They have not gained closure. They have not gained clarity. And any progress they thought that they had made, that moment proved to them that they were wrong. We have the Nine of Cups. I'm a smug son of a bee, but they're also talking about crush energy, still putting you up on a pedestal. And again, acting unbothered or acting like they didn't see you. So it's like it gave you the impression that they weren't keen on seeing you or something. It just, their passivity of their approach made them appear smug. But honestly, I feel like emotionally they were suffering way more than that. This Ten of Swords, is this really over? And that's emotional devastation. Somebody who's had their ego transfixed upon you in the present moment. It says here, you give me mixed signals. And I feel like this is applied to the past. In your friendship, in your connection, there could have been very heavy flirtation cycles. But I also feel like in that moment, the signals weren't clear for either one of you about approach and about connection. It's like you're both on the outside watching this whole event take place. What were they thinking and feeling, please, the last time they saw pile number 1. I want to be more than friends. Full stop, period. I don't want to just be your friend. That has not changed. They are right where you left them. Many things have changed, I feel, but not the way that they feel about you. But we both know I'm not the one for you. They feel like it's almost too late. But this almost feels like a question. It doesn't even feel like a statement. It feels like they're goading you into answering that question. It's like, do you believe that? Do you believe that to be true? I lost myself for a little while in this connection. And I just wish that things could be different now. I tried to bury myself in my work to forget you. And now I'm afraid to contact you. And I feel like in that moment, they were afraid to make contact. They were afraid to speak to you. So they may have just had the courage to just sort of wave from afar, unfortunately. Let's get a charm bowl, please. For pile number 1, what was the last thought that this person had about that moment? The last thought they had about the last moment they saw. Pile number 1, please. Tower. Maybe somebody wasn't alone. There's the 3 of Swords. There's disappointment, heartbreak. Somebody who was feeling extremely insecure. Water energy, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, feeling really, really insecure. And so instead of kind of reacting to that with vulnerability, they just turned their back on the situation, or they just tried to avoid it because they were trying to avoid disaster, or they're trying to avoid clarity. They were just in avoidance mode. I feel like they regret that now. I feel like they regret not showing more kind of enthusiasm in the moment. Ooh, we have the letter T. A love life that has moved to higher levels of commitment with the engagement ring. We have happy, and we have loyalty. Ultimately, I do feel like this person wants you to be happy. Like, that's their ultimate goal. They want happiness for you. They care about you very, very deeply. So they were happy to see you, but it's like their loyalty was being tested. We do have the 8 of Swords. I do think about, the 8 of Pentacles. I think about the work energy and gaining mastery in that moment. We have the watermelon, the letter N, the Star of Aquarius for the Divine Feminine. So the Divine Feminine could be the air energy here as well. And we do have the High Priestess for the Divine Feminine as well. All right, love, that's what I have for you today. I hope it resonates. If it does, drop your comments below for a chance to win a reading with me, and be sure to hit your notification bell if you do so. You can also check out my link for Etsy for a personal reading, and those links are below. I do update the shop daily, so keep checking back. But I hope that you come back here and visit me at the Tarot Cottage, and I hope that you have a great day. Hello, pile number 2. You were drawn to the Empress, and this is your reading. The person on your mind, what were they thinking and feeling the last time that they saw you? Now, the Empress is the most abundant card in the whole tarot deck, and she is filled with abundance because she deserves every good thing. So the good news is that if you are the Divine Feminine, they thought that you looked amazing. They thought that you look like abundance in every way, and there's something very tempting about the Empress. In the traditional Rider-Waite, she's covered in pomegranates for a reason, and it's supposed to sort of give light or make reference to like the Garden of Eden and the temptation that the apple represented, or the pomegranate, depending on who you want to talk to about which tree of life or which tree of fruit was responsible for that huge fall, quote unquote, in the Bible. But there's something so beautiful about the Empress, and there's something so abundant about this moment. So perhaps they experienced abundance with you in that moment, or they just thought that you were looking amazing and carrying yourself in a very confident, promising way. So let's take a look here. I'm going to use the Golden Tarot for you. What were they thinking and feeling? 5 of Wands. Whoop. On the floor, if I can get it. We have the Emperor, very strong Aries energy coming through here. The Knight of Pentacles, coming out with the Queen of Swords. The Sun. What were they thinking and feeling the last time they saw pile number 2, please? The 7 of Cups. Back of the deck is the 4 of Cups, and we have the 6 of of Swords. We also have the Star coming out here of Aquarius, and there's the Lovers. Page of Wands. Oh my goodness. So you definitely had a huge influence on this person. They were definitely lit up inside. They did feel a bit of a cold front coming in from you. So maybe you didn't notice them or you didn't talk to them in this moment. They felt kind of overlooked and ignored in that moment. And that did nothing but rile them up inside. Like, it made them feel jealous, it made them feel insecure, it made them want to kind of fight for some type of attention in some way. The overall feeling that they were having in that moment, though, in that experience, was a bit of confusion, because it made them feel vulnerable. It's like perhaps they expected you to approach, or they expected more out of you in that moment, but they felt very vulnerable in that moment because they didn't feel like they gained a lot out of it other than some more confusion about how you were feeling. And they did feel like there was a bit of a cold front coming in some way with this Queen of Swords. So they're a little bit intimidated, I should say, about you. Oops, I have the wrong cards in the wrong deck here. We're going to put them out. Can we clarify the Five of Wands, please? What were they thinking and feeling the last time they saw pile number 2? The Devil, Capricorn. Really jealous. You may perhaps have not been alone in this moment, which is what spurred all of this jealousy and all of this desire. Because you can notice here that the divine masculine side of this pillar is being lit aflame by the Devil, and her tail is only embers. And so they were feeling like you were not as influenced in this moment as they were. Now, they could be very wrong. This is just their perception. But they felt powerless in that moment. Like you held all the power. We have the Sun. And that was very clarifying for them. The vulnerability that they made, that your influence made them feel, is like telling. It's a very sort of telling experience. There's enlightenment there. Now, whether or not this person has the capacity or the ability to look at that enlightenment and really reflect upon it, to give reason to it, remains to be a little bit to be seen, because I feel like there's a bit of a stubbornness to this person's focus. The Empress, again, the center of your reading. And she wants for nothing. She lacks nothing. You were looking amazing in that moment. And even if you're like, I was looking like crap, they're like, not in my eyes, not in my gaze. You don't see yourself the way this person sees you. But they did feel like there was some type of boundary that you had up in some way. Or again, there was like this internally, they internalized the experience, the moment, as a kind of a red light. Like you don't want them to approach, or you don't want anything really emotionally profound between the two of you in some way. Sorry, I'm trying to straighten it all up. There is also this feeling about perhaps being passive in their approach, because they had to make a decision based on like responsibilities and based on their environment or something. It's like they had this concern for the home. If they're too vulnerable with you, if they're too telling, if they're too revealing, then it has an effect on them, it has an effect on their environment. So they felt helpless to be able to take advantage perhaps of that opportunity to gain some type of clarity or closure, because that's what they were kind of hoping for. You are like this Star of Aquarius. They were gazing at you. You looked amazing. It made them feel vulnerable. They feel like the moment was upon you and it went to waste in some way. It's what they're feeling. The moment went to waste and they're frustrated with that. It sort of makes them feel confused. And it may have gone to waste again because they felt boundaries from you and they felt like they couldn't approach you or really communicate with you in a real way. We have the Three of Wands. But after the fact, after the event, all it did was spur more energy, spur more desire for expansion. It's like fuel for fantasy for them now. And even here with the Seven of Cups, you can see this shadow person. It's like a version of our former selves. So it could be somebody from your past coming forward, really revisiting that expansion, revisiting the intentions that they had in the past. Because it's like they watched you walk away in some way during this interaction. They watch you walk away, and it's like they thought that their empowerment was going with it, or going with you in some way. We do have the Six of Wands, and we have the King of Pentacles. So they were acting super confident in that moment, but they weren't feeling that confidence. They were wearing masks around you in this moment. And emotionally, they were all over the place. So they may even have given the appearance of complete security, being unbothered, being focused. But the truth is that they were putting on this mask. What were they thinking and feeling? Whoops. On the floor, we have here golden mirror, self-absorbed, narcissist, one-sided relationship, love bombing. Now, as I said, I don't feel like there's a narcissistic component here, but there was somebody who felt kind of overlooked and felt ignored in this moment. And they might internalize that somebody's self-absorbed or somebody is too focused on their own environment. That's just a way for them to distract themselves or redirect the vulnerability that they were feeling by trying to place blame on someone in the moment. We have karmic relationship, fleeting triggers, turmoil, and the snake. Competition, enemy, clever, malicious, looking over your shoulder in the other woman because there's competition, there's attachment here. So somebody perhaps here wasn't alone, and that's why they had to react the way that they did. Perhaps both of you had to react in the ways that you did because neither one of you were alone, or one of you had a partner with you in that moment. And so we had to put the masks on. We had to hide our own clarity. Because our truth is a huge red flag to karmic relationships in this moment. And so there is a certain amount of dishonesty, even being dishonest with myself in this moment as well, coming from this person's perspective. What were they thinking and feeling the last time they saw pile number 2? Arrow. You are on the right path regarding some aspect of your life and good fortune. Now, the Cupid's arrow comes in suddenly, kind of throws us off guard, and this arrow is striped with red. So there's a fear of loss. So it's like they had this sudden fear of loss that hit them very profoundly. And it wasn't necessarily connected to this beetle, the good fortune, because they may have been cultivating a fortune for themselves or cultivating a foundation period for themselves in the form of career or family. You can see this beetle looks like it's walking on dry earth, like walking on the desert. So there may not be a lot of emotional thirst being quenched there in those environments. Even here with the Emperor, he's sitting in a desert. So there's a certain amount of thirst that you ignited inside of them. And you ignited more questions in their mind. You ignited more desire to fantasize. That moment was some type of fuse. We have April being significant. That could be a name or a month. An Aries energy coming through. This person could definitely be an Aries. Haystack, karma, karmic relationships. Someone in a karmic relationship, or maybe being with your karmic partner in this moment, and being worried about reaping what we sow, being worried about the cause and effect of our actions. We have goal-oriented person with the Knight of Pentacles. And then we have stepping into a new experience and feeling very vulnerable. So the goals that this person has are in relation to career and family. And that's why they made the decision that they made in that moment the way that they did, because they are a goal-oriented person and they're trying to stay on track with what they have invested in. But all of a sudden, this created a vulnerable opportunity for them to step outside of that situation. I don't feel like they necessarily took the opportunity. I feel like there was a lot of heavy masks. So again, it could have been the divine feminine that felt overlooked in that moment. But the reasons why this person wasn't able to yield to the desires that they wanted to within this Empress energy is because of their responsibilities and the targets that they're trying to reach in their life. You have here deep cellular healing, Arcturus energy, physical and emotional reconnection. And we also have here the big picture thinking, Palladius energy, visionary, inspired ideas. Back of the deck says you're not alone. Isolation, physical connection, and community. Again, you may have not have been alone. This person may not have been alone. That situation, the moment was not lost on either one of you. You were both experiencing a connection that perhaps defied language in that moment. Perhaps you didn't have a full-fledged relation or a full-fledged conversation that was very vulnerable, but you were both in that moment of connection. Let's get a couple of message cards to see what sort of thoughts they were having in that present moment, please. What were they thinking and feeling when they last saw pile number 2? Some people don't want to see us together, but I don't care. The problem is that I think they care, or maybe you care. Somebody cares. I have thought about having a family with you, and I also feel like there could already be some type of practical cycle that could be in place for someone. I do have options, but I only want you. So they know that they may have given you the impression in that moment that you were being overlooked. Or again, it was reversed and they were feeling overlooked. But they want you to see beyond. They want you to have big picture thinking. Zoom out to a different perspective. I'm planning on severing ties with a karmic partner because they're thinking about options when it comes to the future and expansion with you. So that moment was like a benchmark of more. And I reminisce a lot about the time spent with you. I can tell that you don't trust me, and I want to change that because that moment may have sort of made you question yourself, made you question how abundant you actually are in the eyes of this person. And regardless, the Empress comes out twice to remind you of who you are. You don't have to be the Empress, you can be the Emperor, but it's just a reminder of you claiming that power, claiming that truth. What are they thinking and feeling the last time they saw pile number 2? You intimidate me and you always have. But now you make me come alive when I think about you. Even after the fact, it feels like it just progressed. Oops. I don't want to create havoc in your life right now. Friends with benefits, so having fantasies about what is possible in the future, but I have so much to lose. So there could be commitment cycles on both sides here, so please take that as it resonates to your situation. We have 2. You might be my soulmate. Did you ever feel that way? Did you ever feel the same? And the back of the deck says, I fell so hard and fast for you. But I feel like the appearances are deceiving when it comes to that moment in time where the 2 of you reconnected or when they saw you the last time. I don't feel like they gave you the physical proof of that in that moment. Oops. 10 of Cups, 2 of Wands. We also have the Knight of Cups. There's something about the internet playing a role, flirtation cycles. They have intentions perhaps to reach out to you at some point, and the approach that they're going to take in the future is going to be a stark difference to how they reacted or how they acted around you the last time they saw you. They're going to be much more compassionate. They're going to be much more generous with you emotionally. They're going to talk to you perhaps. Like there's just going to be more movement where they're going to be more on their best behavior, at least in your gaze, because they have intentions or plans to offer you more of a fuller spectrum. And they have been toying with the idea of reaching out to you online on social media. We have the Ice Pick, chipping away at a cold exterior. So somebody acting cold. We have He and we have Gentle reversed. We do have somebody who self-sabotaged the situation or the opportunity. They say it's coming in from the Divine Masculine's perspective. We do have closure issues with this dime. It's from 2018. I think of the 6 of Swords. I think of October, Libra, the 10th of any month. We have Virgo, Goddess energy, beautiful Empress, Goddess energy. You looking good. We also have here regret and sadness for the Divine Feminine. So you may have felt really overlooked if you were the Divine Feminine energy here. We also have the letter E. All right, pile number 2, that's what I have for you today. I hope it resonates with you. If it does, drop your comment below for a chance to win a reading with me. Be sure to hit your notification bell so that I can notify you if you're chosen the winner. You can also check out my link for Etsy for a personal reading if you feel called to, and I do update that shop every day, so keep checking back. But I hope that you come back and visit me at the Tarot Cottage, and I hope you have a great day. Hello, pile number 3. You were drawn to the Fool energy, and this is your reading. What was the person on your mind thinking and feeling the last time that they saw you? Now you can see the Fool here is blowing on this French horn or this circular horn. I always think about the judgment energy and reflection periods after the fact. So the Fool wants to take a leap of faith, but there's a risk involved. And so this moment in time perhaps represented a moment like that, represented a moment where we can take a leap of faith that maybe we've been waiting for, we've reflected upon, and we know that there's an action that has to be taken in order to create change. This moment could have also propelled us into reflection periods about losses, about not taking leaps of faith in the past. So let's take a look here. I love that you were drawn to the Fool. The Fool represents this beautiful beginnings of the Fool's journey, which represents all of our human conditions and everything that we're going through. But let's take a look here. Use the Angel Tarot for you to begin. What were they thinking and feeling the last time they saw pile number 3, please? The World. You'll notice within the World and a lot of traditional Rider-Waite card decks, but even this particular deck, there's like this silhouette of a 0, which is representative of the Fool, and how, you know, if the World is at the end of this Fool's journey and the Fool's at the beginning, we can't get to the World unless we take a leap of faith. We also have the Chariot, Cancer energy coming through. And they're showing me this, like, it looks like a ninja star here at the bottom of the Chariot. It looks really sharp, and I'm just seeing somebody pinned to a wall with the ninja star. You have the 10 of Swords. Oh, I just feel such a regret coming from this person. In the last time that they saw you, I feel like they should have said something or taken action, but I feel like they missed the boat or something. 9 of Wands. Oh, it's the King of Wands reversed on the floor. Back of the deck, we have the 9 of Pentacles, and we have the 10 of Wands. And I'm going to clarify this as we go forward here. What were they thinking and feeling the last time they saw pile number 3, please? First of all, you don't know how beautiful you are. You don't know how attractive you are to this person because they find you very, very attractive. Almost to the point where they are like looking up to you in some way. It's almost like yeah, it almost feels like an adoring type of energy coming through. There's the Star of Aquarius. Here's the Ace of Cups. I feel like this person has intentions to see you again, and I feel like they have intentions to right the wrong that happened in this moment, because I feel like there was the desire, the knowledge that I have to say something, I have to do something in this moment, and I need to unload all of these feelings. I need to express myself in some way. You have the King of Cups, and I think when the moment came and they had the opportunity to leap, I feel like they didn't. There's the 10 of Swords. It's like their expectations about what would happen in that moment didn't come to fruition. The stars didn't line up the way that they thought that it would. And I feel like they almost expected like a lot of confidence, but they didn't have it. That's why the King of Wands is reversed. They didn't have the confidence. And now they feel bad about how it all went down the last time they saw you because they held back. They held back. And there's also something about the internet coming through here. Now, for someone watching, and this was not the purpose of the reading, but for someone watching, the last time this person saw you was on the internet because you were far away and they're gazing at you. And this has left them with a lot of regret because of what they're seeing now and where you've brought yourself in life, the things that you've accomplished, the goals that you've achieved. Like, you are in a very beautiful position. You're a beautiful person. You're in a beautiful position. Again, that's a secondary message. I'm dealing with collective energy, so please take the messages as they resonate. But there's a really strong influence of like, I'm watching you online, perhaps because of that moment, or the last time they saw you, specifically beyond this moment in time when they saw you with their physical eyes, was online because it prompted them. They didn't have the confidence perhaps to act in the moment, but it's prompted them to seek you out online or to watch you online. And now, because of that moment, there's like a call to action for them even further. How can I make adjustments? What can I do? I've got to forge a plan and I need to activate the plan. Yeah, there's the Judgment. Here's the 8 of Cups and there's the 3 of Swords. Now, truthfully, I feel like they saw you and then it made them want to seek you out online to gather more information, to like gather intel. But what are you doing now? What's up with you? What position are you in? Are you in love right now? And for some, there is a message of affirmation with some of those answers. Maybe you are in a third party situation. Maybe you have moved on to empower yourself. They held back because they didn't want to get a rejection in that moment. They held back because they didn't feel like they were in control of the situation in that moment. I feel like they are very sorry that they held back. But they did so to protect something for you, They did so that they could keep you in a position that you become accustomed, or keep you in a position of abundance here. But again, after the fact, they were thrust into reflection. There is the judgment with the horn. You were drawn to the Fool with the horn judgment. And they can't stop thinking about it. And they can't stop judging themselves harshly, because that's the purpose of the judgment. Not to judge others, but to judge ourselves. And they're doing it very harshly. They're angry at themselves for not having the confidence. I feel like they're angry at themselves, and it stems back all the way to the beginning of this connection. It doesn't really have everything to do with that moment in time, the last time that they saw you. It has everything to do with the choices they didn't make, or the actions they didn't take in the past. And now they're reeling from that, because now they feel like there's no hope. Because of in whatever capacity they saw you in, they feel like you're settled, they feel like you're happy, or they hope that you are. And it's thrust them into this feeling of despair of like, well, I have all of my hopes in that basket, and now it's gone. And there's something very emotional about this person. They're a very emotional person. They could be a Cancer energy for sure here with this King of Cups and the Chariot. What were they thinking and feeling, please, the last time they saw pile number 3? I feel like they held back. And I feel like they're still watching you, if I'm honest. We have Heart with a Key. Welcoming love, meeting the one, getting together and perfect. But the heart space is a lock. And the key here, they feel like you may be the key. I just saw keeping an abundant mindset. We have Coffee Cup, meeting and conversing, savoring the moment, feeling uplifted in friendship. So for some, this could have been a planned reunion of some kind. And they were hoping perhaps in that planned reunion to take some type of leap of faith so they can recapture something from the past. But whatever was shown or proclaimed in that meeting stole some of their hope. Now we have reconditioning. It says conditioning and replaying events over and over in our mind, outdated thinking. And I will say that in the moment, like I feel like if they did meet up with you and they had a coffee with you and they were sitting there gathering more information about you, and their expectations were dashed, they may have sort of had this over emotional response and sort of blamed you in the moment, felt frustrated with you in the moment. We keep seeing Girl with the Snake, empath and narcissistic paradigm, being charmed and used, but boundaries. And then we have Coffin, endings bring new beginnings, change, growth, liberation, and transition. And we have 10 of Swords right here in the center of your reading. So it definitely felt devastating. It definitely felt like the end of a cycle for them in this moment because of what they observed or because of what the two of you spoke about. They felt like you've moved forward or you moved on or you've empowered yourself in some way. And in many ways, they're really proud. But in a lot of ways, they feel like they have to sit in that emotion. And I don't want to use a term like narcissist and being charmed or used. I don't like that energy. I don't like clarifying anybody as a narcissist, because I feel like there's a lot of narcissistic tendencies that we pick up from negative environments in our familial grounds. Like we pick up a lot of bad habits on how to handle emotional disputes or how to handle emotional connections. And then we apply them, and we don't do it intentionally, but we apply them. So sometimes it's like they let the ego take over and they will try to throw the blame around, but truthfully they're mad at themselves. But then we also have that Coffin on the back of the deck here with the 10 of Swords. What were they thinking and feeling the last time they saw pile number 3, please? Bird with a nest. It says an emotionally secure and loving family is important to you. And what's interesting to me about this nest is that it's sitting on the edge of this tree limb. We were drawn to the Fool, which is about going out on a limb, but also wanting to protect something. So I feel like they were planning to go out on a limb and then retreated quickly, sort of put a kibosh in their plans because of what they observed in your field and what you've invested in. We have news is on the way, the bird flying. And truthfully, despite the fact that they are convinced that it's over, it doesn't feel over to me, if I'm honest with you. We have June being significant. That could be a name or a month. And we have Yoke, feeling tied down and frustrated. Back of the deck says, be careful, do not take risks. And drawn to the Fool, be careful, do not take risks. Feeling frustrated though, feeling held back, feeling a lack of confidence because they feel like they missed the boat or they missed the opportunity. You have this could be the one. You've already met the romantic partner you seek. And that's something that they've convinced themselves of. This person claims to love you. Like this person claims to be in love with you. And wherever our focus is, our energy goes. I often say that in on my channel. And this person's focus has been on you. It says, love yourself first. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. And your self-respect, your ability to walk away and find empowerment and find a really solid footing in your life is truly a representation of how you're setting a beautiful example for this person. I feel like they did intend to express something to you, but they held back out of self-respect as well. We do have passion coming out in reverse. Allow your heart and soul to sing with joy, but they did not allow that. And we also have children affecting the romantic cycle, so that could be a part of the divine feminine or the divine masculine's energy. We have let go of the control issues and allow this situation to unfold naturally, because they recognize in that moment they have no ability. They feel powerless to be able to create change. So they may feel like it is upon this Nine of Pentacles, this divine feminine energy, to create change or to create clearance for growth so that we can go forward with the passionate feelings that we feel. So let's get some message cards here. Their last thoughts. What were they thinking the last time they saw pile number 3? Like, you already know how I feel. It's like the cat perhaps was let out of the bag a long time ago, or there's just an understanding between the two of you. I just wish that things were different. Reach out. Again, I feel like there's going to be further contact between the two of you since that point. It says here, think before you act, and I need more balance. So they paused a leap of faith that they were planning on taking. They put it off, but they're still holding space for the opportunity. It's like, even though their hopes were dashed in the moment, I feel like they're going to regather themselves, and it's going to be like Act 2 is what I keep hearing. It's Act 2. Your family won't like me. So if there are family cycles or collective expectations that could be rattled if we choose to walk off together, that's something that they have thought about as well. And I don't want to lose you. It feels devastating. If I asked you to stay, would you leave? If I asked you to not walk away, would you stay with me? What were they thinking and feeling the last time they saw pile number 3, please? Is this connection real? Do you feel it too? I'm trying to figure myself out. You are a stunner. So they liked what they saw. The Nine of Pentacles is often someone who works hard on themselves. They put effort into their appearance, into their hair, into their makeup, into their clothes. They carry themselves with grace. I'm going to fix it, but first I have to fix me. Oh, we have wake-up call. And that's what the Judgment's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a wake-up call. I was wearing a mask, and I am wearing a mask in the present moment. I have so much that I want to express to you and so much I want to tell you, ... It doesn't feel like this person's done with the momentum that they wanted to express to you. In a perfect world, it's you and it's me. And that could be what they have to tell you. Back of the deck says, I thought that it would be easier to walk away than it is. On the back of that deck. Let's get a charm bowl, please, for pile number 3. What was the very last thought they had about pile number 3 after that last moment in time, after that last meeting? Nine of Wands reversed, Ace of Wands, Knight of Cups. I'm telling you, this person, despite the fact that they had this devastating reaction in that moment, it slowed them down, but it hasn't stopped them, because there's still this feeling of like, I need to at least gain closure. I need to at least gain some type of change here. I have to put down some of these wands. They've been holding them up. They're getting exhausted. But the truth is, it's not closure this person is looking for. It's more. It's expansion. It's fire. They do have some type of intention about, they were thinking about how you would receive some type of offer or some type of communication that could come in. Because they feel inspired by that moment now to create change. They're tired of holding back. They're kind of in a defensive situation. They want to make lemonade out of lemons. It's like, let's recapture the moment. We have R and P. We have C. We have friends. So there could have been a friendship aspect here that should have evolved into more. And we have a forget me not. So don't forget about me. Pile number 3. That's what I have for you today. I hope it resonates. I'm praying for you. And if you would like to drop a comment underneath any of my readings this month for a chance to win a free reading, be sure to do that, and be sure to hit your notification bell as well. You can also check out my link for Etsy for a personal reading, and I do update that shop every day, so keep checking back. But I hope you come back and visit me at the Tarot Cottage, and I hope that you have a beautiful day.